Hi everyone, I'm Sophia. Welcome back to my channel. It's so ironic that I ended my last video with like, oh, I like to keep the videos up to date or something like that, and then I disappear for 2 weeks. This YouTube thing really takes discipline, so I'm going to challenge myself to upload videos more frequently. But anyway, I'm here today with a new video about lessons that I've learned while being abroad. I got off the phone with my friend and we were talking about all the benefits that travel brings. And I think a lot of people talk about, all the experiences and the memories and all the Instagram photos that you're going to get out of traveling, but not a lot of people talk about the real character building that you'll get while you're away, especially if you're studying abroad or if you move to a new city or if you're in another country for an extended period of time. There's a lot of character building that you'll get out of that experience. So without much further ado, I'm going to bring the top 5 things that I've learned while I've been away. Let's get started. The first thing on my list is learning a new language, and the career and job opportunities for this are just endless. I mean, no job will see knowing another language as a negative thing. It'll always be a positive thing to add to your skill set. But more practically speaking, you can connect with the natives better. Everyone's 10 times more willing to help you if you speak a little bit of their language. It just makes giving you instructions or telling you about things to do and things like that, it just makes it so much easier if you speak a little bit of their language. Also, if you're an aspiring polyglot like me and you love languages, then you get to get new practice partners, and as you're talking to people, they correct you, which makes your skill set that much better. It's endless. When I was a senior in college, I studied abroad in Spain, and growing up in the US, you always learn Spanish, like, from kindergarten, maybe not kindergarten, but from whenever to up until high school. You learn Spanish just about every day, but it doesn't really sink in unless you're immersed in it, which I was for 4 months when I was in Spain. So by the time I left Spain, I was thinking in Spanish, which was great. A couple years have passed now. It's been about 4 years, so I can understand just about everything, but my speaking, it actually takes me time to conjugate the verb now, so I gotta work on that. Maybe I should do a video in Spanish. We'll see. But it's a great skill set to have, and it's just one of those things that you can't, it's 10 times better when you're immersed in language. So if you're somewhere for an extended period of time, take advantage of being around that language and really take the time to learn it. There's no downside. It can only help you. The next thing is all about the news and media. When you leave the US and you stay somewhere for an extended period of time, I think that's when you really learn how America-centric we are with our media. When I was in college, my major was broadcast journalism, so I thought I'm pretty up to date with current events and things like that, global politics, things like that. No. If you're following most American news outlets, you're pretty much not all that much up to date. And the biggest example that I can give of this happened while I was studying abroad in Spain. A tropical storm Sandy happened in my hometown of New York City, and the way the Spanish media covered that tropical storm, you would have thought people were dying like left and right. They had so much news coverage on it that it made me think it was 10 times bigger than what it was. It wasn't great, but based on the amount of coverage that it got, it was front page on the newspaper. They were just news package after news package after news package about the recovery efforts, people that were affected, things like that. And it made me put things in perspective, because I feel like if something like that were to happen to the city of Madrid or another city, especially a non-first world country, it definitely wouldn't get the attention that it got for our media. So it put a lot of things in perspective about how much we focus on ourselves, our little American bubble, as opposed to the whole world. We make up a small percentage, but you only hear about our percentage. Why is that? Another thing is that it gives you so much more empathy toward people that go through things. Things happen all across the world, but yet we only hear about what happens most of the time in our own hometowns in the US. So please look out for these type of things and learn as much as possible as you can about what's going on in the world around you. On that same page, another big thing that you'll notice when you go abroad is the global effect of US politics. it happened to me while I was in Spain, and it happens even when I travel abroad today. Once people find out that you're American, a lot of times they want to know your opinion on the upcoming elections. They want to know your opinion on who you think will win, what's going on in your state, the court systems, everything. They want to know your opinion. Case in point, a couple months ago I went to Sao Paulo, Brazil with another flight attendant, and we met a girl from Rome who was backpacking through, and we were having a good time in the coffee shop, laughing, joking, all that stuff. And then she just stopped the conversation and she's like, wait a minute, can we talk about US politics for a minute, because what's going on in your country with Donald Trump? And it took us off guard, but she really wanted to know our opinion, because based on our how our election is going, their Italian elections have been kind of altered because of it. So she wanted to know what we felt about it, who do we want to win, things like that. It's one of those things where I think everyone knows that the US politicians make a difference abroad. They make a big difference abroad. But to see it and to hear people talk about it that aren't from the US is very powerful, and it leaves a lasting imprint. So as much as you can, talk to people about everything that goes on, how their country legislation and things like that, yours, exchange ideas, things like that just bring a fresh perspective to your mind. The next topic is kind of loaded, so I'll probably make another video specifically dedicated to that topic, but it's race relations. Now, how many times have I been abroad and I hear, oh, I thought all black people were ghetto, or I didn't know black women travel by themselves. And it's annoying, it's frustrating, it's ignorant, but at that very moment, the best feeling about it, the best thing about that is that you're teaching people something that they didn't know. You have the power to shape someone's view or reshape someone's view of something. So race can definitely affect your travel experiences, but there's a lot of good that can come out for it, for you personally and for the people involved in the situation. So stay tuned for a video about being black and just race in general while traveling. Finally, the biggest thing on the list is probably the most important lesson for me, and that's how much things we take for granted. And the tangible things like clean water, clothing, shelter, food, things like that, you'll be able to spot really quickly, and you'll be able to see how blessed you are as compared to somebody else in the world. But some of the things that you can't touch will be the ones that leave the biggest impact on you. A big example, when I was studying abroad in Spain, I noticed how Spanish culture really takes care of their elderly, and not just make sure that they're financially taken care of, but they're a big part of the family. And you'd see them walking their grandmother in the park or sitting down to dinner with them. And I feel like a lot of times you don't see that as often in American culture. And just taking the time to enjoy a meal with your friends as opposed to just grabbing something on the go and leaving. Taking the time to sit down and enjoy a cup of coffee as opposed to just getting a Starbucks cup and being on your way. Little things like that, we don't realize how much of an impact they have on our life. But in this get up and go type of environment, you really need to take the time to enjoy the little things. And it's such a cliche because it was in the Ferris Bueller movie, but life really does go by really fast, and you need to take time to sit down and enjoy it. So I hope this list was very informative, and that you'll be able, and you can use it as sort of a springboard for your lessons that you'll learn while abroad. If there's anything that you learned while being abroad, comment below. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, and let me know what other topics you want to talk about. I have a few that I'm interested to get into, but I'd really love to know what you're interested in hearing, and that'll be what I'll talk about. So thanks for watching, and talk to you soon.